The 10 situations where your own mouth betrays you. The night one sentence ruined everything. It happened after midnight, not in a courtroom, not in a fight, not in front of cameras, just a conversation that felt harmless. A laugh, a drink, a moment of honesty, and one sentence, one careless sentence slipped out. The kind of sentence you don't even remember saying the next morning, but someone else remembered. Not because they were evil, because they were awake. Because in the real world, words don't vanish. They get stored, sorted, weaponized. Most people fear enemies, but Machiavelli would warn you, sometimes you don't need enemies. Your own mouth will do the betrayal for them. Because the mouth is the fastest part of you, faster than your strategy, faster than your self-control, faster than your future. And the tragedy is, you usually speak the most at the worst times. When you're angry, when you're winning, when you're drinking, when you're stressed, when you want sympathy, when you want to look competent, when you want revenge, when you feel pressured to promise. This story isn't about becoming silent for drama. It's about becoming silent for survival. Because once your words are outside you, you no longer control what they become. Now let me show you how the betrayal happens. 10 situations, each one a trap. 1. Rage revelation, when anger becomes truth serum. The first betrayal begins with heat. Someone disrespects you. Someone pushes the exact button they shouldn't, and suddenly your mouth stops being a tool and becomes a weapon. Anger doesn't create new thoughts. It removes the filter. It turns your tongue into a confession booth. This is why provocateurs love anger. They don't provoke you to express themselves. They provoke you to extract you. They're interrogators in casual clothing. They poke, then watch what spills. Your insecurities, your resentments, your secret fears, your hidden intentions. And the worst part? The danger isn't what you say, it's who hears it. Because angry speech doesn't just communicate content, it communicates instability. If you explode in front of the wrong audience, you don't just vent, you create a permanent identity. Reactive, emotional, controllable. The powerful don't avoid anger. They delay speech. They process rage privately, convert it into strategy, and return with actions that can't be quoted. Because spoken anger is a receipt, and people keep receipts. But if anger is the truth serum, success is the champagne that makes you careless. 2. The victory parade, when winning makes you talk too much. Here's the trap nobody expects. You're safer when you're losing than when you're winning. Because losing makes you cautious. Winning makes you loud. Winning makes you feel safe. And safety makes you explain. You start talking about how you did it. You share your method. You reveal your next move. You turn victory into a tutorial. But competitors don't congratulate. They study. They ask questions like fans, but listen like hunters. And once they understand your system, they can replicate it or counter it. A quiet winner is mysterious. A loud winner becomes transparent. Mystery creates respect. Transparency invites challenge. So the strategic winner celebrates internally and speaks only when silence would damage relationships that actually matter. Because the goal is not to be praised. The goal is to remain unpredictable. Now the next betrayal is simpler and more humiliating. You don't even need emotion, just alcohol. 3. Liquid confession, when alcohol unlocks your vault. Alcohol doesn't make you honest. It makes you unguarded. Your filters drop. You feel warm. You want closeness. So you open doors you normally keep locked. You reveal private plans, resentment you've been hiding, fears you pretend you don't have, truths you should never hand to the wrong hands. And a skilled manipulator knows this. They don't force secrets out of you. They dissolve your defenses, then ask harmless questions. A liquid interrogation. The cruel imbalance is this. You wake up with fragments. They wake up with the full recording. Now they own the narrative, and you don't even know what you gave away. Strategic people don't moralize alcohol. They calculate stakes. If the stakes are high, they keep their mind online. They drink less or not at all, because the mouth under intoxication isn't expressive. It's reckless. But even without alcohol, pressure can do the same thing. 4. Breaking point when stress makes you confess weakness. Under stress, the civilized mask slips. You want relief, so you talk. You admit you're not okay. You confess you're overwhelmed. You reveal doubts you should process privately, and the listener might look supportive, but the wrong listener stores it as leverage, because desperation is readable. When you confess weakness to escape the pressure of the moment, you create a future label: unstable, unreliable, easy to push. Even close people can weaponize your stress later in conflict, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unconsciously. So the rule isn't trust nobody. The rule is don't speak from panic, speak from clarity. And be careful, because some people don't need your anger or alcohol or stress. They can pull your secrets out through sympathy. 5. Sympathy, extraction, when kindness makes you talk. Not all manipulation is aggressive. Some manipulation is soft. A skilled manipulator doesn't demand. They invite. They appear wounded, misunderstood, fragile. And your instinct is to reciprocate. You share a secret to bond. You reveal a weakness to balance intimacy. But performed vulnerability is often polished, convenient, perfectly timed. Real vulnerability is messy, awkward, not strategic. When someone's softness always appears at moments that benefit them, be careful, because the moment you share, they store, not to use today, to use later. This is how your kindness becomes their advantage. The strongest person can support without confessing, can empathize without giving away their private world. And then comes the social trap that destroys reputations quietly. Gossip. 6. The gossip economy. When your mouth proves you're not safe. Gossip isn't just talk, it's a marketplace. Secrets are currency. Opinions are currency. Confidence is currency. And the rule of power is brutal. The one who collects information gains leverage. The one who leaks information loses credibility. When you gossip, even if people smile, they're learning. You're not a vault. And if you're not a vault, you're not valuable. Brokers thrive here. People who collect secrets from everyone and distribute hints strategically to shape perception. They don't need to lie. They just need to reframe. And your words become their tools. So if you want respect, stop treating private information like entertainment. Because the mouth that leaks today will be distrusted tomorrow. Now the trap changes shape. Authority. 7. The authority trap. When you think it's a debate. When authority challenges you, it's rarely a fair debate. It's a test. They're watching your emotional control, your professionalism, your ability to stay calm under pressure. If you respond with outrage, long explanations, moral speeches, even if you're right, you fail the test. Power structures don't reward righteousness. They reward composure and performance. Strategic people comply intelligently and outperform. They let results speak. Because in politics, work politics, social politics. Moral outrage is often just another way to look predictable. Next trap is the one that feels like justice. Revenge. 8. Revenge revelation. When you burn your own future for one night. When someone betrays you, you may hold nuclear information about them. Secrets, proof, weakness, and your mouth wants to detonate it. Expose them. Destroy them. It feels righteous. But here's the cost nobody mentions. When you weaponize private information publicly, you teach everyone around you you're unsafe. Even people who hate your enemy will think, if I ever become your enemy, you'll do the same to me. So you win a moment and lose future trust. Strategic operators don't burn leverage for emotional pleasure. They keep discretion. They keep power. Often, the best revenge isn't exposure, it's elevation, because success is harder to argue with than accusations. Now we move to the trap that looks like confidence but smells like insecurity. 9. Competence theater. When your mouth tries to look important, insecurity talks. It name drops. It over-explains. It interrupts. It performs, because it fears being underestimated. But the performance reveals the fear. Needing to prove is proof of weakness. And once people detect your need, they can control you by withholding recognition. They can bait you into defending your status, into explaining your worth, into chasing respect with words. Real competence doesn't advertise, it produces. Quiet work creates loud reputation. So stop using your mouth to look strong. Use your results. And now the final betrayal. Promises. Promise prison when you agree to escape pressure. Promises are often made to escape discomfort. Someone pressures you. You want the pressure to stop, so you say yes. You commit to timelines you can't guarantee. You promise outcomes you haven't measured. In the moment, it feels like relief. Later, it becomes debt. And broken promises don't just disappoint. They brand you. They reduce your word's weight. And once your word is light, your influence collapses. Strategic people promise less and deliver more. They ask for time. They choose precision over impression. Because your word is your identity. And your mouth can't be trusted if it's always trying to escape discomfort. Ending the final rule. Speech is chess. Machiavelli's warning is simple. Your mouth betrays you when emotion drives speech, when ego drives explanation, when insecurity drives performance, when pressure drives promises. Life is a chessboard, and speech is a move. Some moves build position. Some moves sacrifice your king. So remember the real strategy. Speak when it builds leverage. Stay silent when speech weakens you. Control your mouth, and you control your fate. Because the world records, remembers, and weaponizes. And once you understand that, you stop talking like someone who needs to be understood and start speaking like someone who cannot be used.